Just so you can hear me at the back, you know. Oh, right, hello. Right, hi, welcome to the first res session of EGX 2018. I'm not giving it, I'm John T. I'm from Gaming Network, I'm just here to do the introductions. So it's going to be quite a brief one now. So our next speaker is Mike Rose from No More Robots. Industry legend, figurehead, you know. Mike used to work for Gamma Sutra. He was on journalism for a long time, and he kind of went into the publishing side. And then he set up No More Robots, which is his own publishing label. They've had great success in a very short space of time. Most recent hit was Not Tonight, which is kind of Papers, Please, but about Brexit, or in a post-Brexit dystopia. Which is obviously very increasingly relevant with every passing day. And Mike is here to talk about how he managed to sell Brexit and how there should be more politics in video games. So please welcome Mike Rose.
Oh, God. All right. Hello. Hi. Thank you for coming. I've got nowhere to put this water. You can go on the floor. Hi, everybody. Thank you for coming. I appreciate it's still quite early in the day, and it might have been a little hard to find this room. So I thank every single one of you. Yeah, so as Jazz said, I'm Mike Rose, I'm from No More Robots, and we've got this game called Not Tonight. It's an anti-Brexit game, and we announced it earlier this year, and when we announced it, we had this trailer that had Nigel Farage and his big stupid face at the start. And it went really well, people loved it. Incredibly, for a good amount of time, the likes and dislikes on the trailer were exactly the Brexit vote, like 51% or whatever it was, which was amazing. But yeah, it caused a little storm, which was maybe a little bit what I was trying to do. So this is just a little rundown, so you actually have a clue who I am. I used to write about video games for a very long time, and I probably should have got out of video games, but instead I decided to jump over the fence? Is it a fence? I don't know. And I joined Tiny Build, who you might know for doing Punch Club and Party Hard and Hello Neighbor and all them. And then last year, because I'm an egotistical maniac, I decided I can do this myself. So I did, and I started No More Robots. And that's the story so far. So a little bit about No More Robots before I finally get on. We've got a bunch of cool games. We launched Descenders, that was our first game, a downhill mountain biking game. When was that? February on Steam, and then on Xbox. It's coming to the other consoles as well. And that did quite well for us. Then we just launched Not Tonight last month. Oh God, it was only a month ago. And that went quite well, and I'll talk about that in a sec. And then we've got some awesome games as well. Hypnospace Outlaw, Jay, who's the developer, is here, who is a beautiful, crazy man. And it's actually at EGX in the Left Field Collection, if you want to go play it. It's essentially GeoCities, the video game, but sort of dystopian, because I really, for some reason, I seem to be collecting together dystopian games. That's just apparently my thing now. And then they've got another game called Family Man coming out next year, which is essentially sort of Breaking Bad, the RPG, which I'm also pretty damn excited about. So Not Tonight, if you haven't seen it, it's kind of, as John T said, it's essentially a British post-Brexit version of Papers, Please. You start the game where Brexit has happened, and it's not just a hard Brexit, it's literally like apocalyptic Brexit, where everybody of European heritage has been forced into relocation blocks, and now is just given a role and told, you must work this job, and if you don't work it hard enough, then we will kick you out of the country. So your job is bouncer. So you start the game, you're just on pubs and clubs, and you're just checking, are they the right age? Is the ID expired? Is it their picture? Then you start to check their social security number, and then you can't let French people in, and then you start working people's passports on the Dover border and the London Wall. It's really dumb. It's really satirical, right? It's not meant to be serious. We tried to make some serious points through it, but the idea is that it's meant to be more of like a mock the week style comedy thing, where we're trying to make you maybe learn a little bit, but trick you into just thinking it's just comedy. yeah, I mentioned that we announced it with Nigel Farage's face. Hopefully I'm going to get video / this will work now, but this is the trailer we launched it with. No sound. Sad times. Hang on, a man's moving.
Dawn is breaking on an independent United Kingdom.
A little bit of sound. It's a minute amount of sound. All right, well, until we get sound, here's how it essentially went. We just showed Nigel Farage's stupid face, him doing his little, there we go, that's nice. I won't go back, because I don't want to make you listen to Nigel Farage. But essentially, we just launched it with his face. And obviously, starting a trailer with his face, obviously one of the points was to evoke a reaction. Instead of just showing someone the game immediately, hooking them in with, hey, look, we kind of have the balls to do this. Yeah, we were very upfront about what we were trying to do with the game. The internet was not happy. It was not happy at all. I don't know if you can make out some of these wonderful quotes. This one in the middle here was one of my favorites. It ends with, "Good luck with your Arabs." That was, can you believe this? Like, I'm not being funny, but that was, like, obviously we'd assume we were going to get crazy comments. This one at the top, limp-wristed slackjaws. I think I changed my Twitter profile to that for a while. This one at the bottom here, like, obviously I've blocked out some of these words because they were a bit too much, which is weird for me. Like, normally I don't do that. This one here was quite, I mean, you know, I laugh, but you read some of these and you realize actually what some people's views are and how they're clearly not right. And unfortunately, this is a bit, as Brexit showed, this is a big part of our country, people who actually believe this crap. So this is the thing. I don't know about you guys, but I've been on the internet for a while. And what I have learned while being on the internet, and especially in all the stuff that I've done, I have learned to be able to not just block out the crazy people, but also enjoy that they're crazy and actually fuel myself. Like, you know, I take all of this crazy in and I'm able to actually enjoy it in a weird way, and it fuels me to just do it more. I appreciate not everybody else is like that. And some people might read all of those comments if they put out a game trailer, read all those comments and be like, oh God, the end of my world. But that was amazing to me. And the thing is, people on the internet are crazy all of the time about literally anything that they can possibly get crazy about. So this happened earlier this year. I don't remember if you remember when DICE dared to put a woman on the front of Battlefield 5. People were not happy about this. You will not erase our history, says one man. Look at this man at the bottom. It makes him want to vomit. He was at his computer vomiting on his keyboard, apparently, because there was a lady. I don't understand. Again, people are crazy. Here's another one. Just recently, people got angry on the internet because Insomniac moved a puddle in Spider-Man. Just before the game launch, they put out a new trailer, and someone noticed that compared to a trailer from 2 years ago, there's a puddle that's gone missing. And they tweeted it, Insomniac. There was a storm. People were saying, it's because the video's compressed. Other people were saying, that makes no sense. And other people said, why does it goddamn matter? People will complain about anything, is the point I'm trying to make. And just because people are complaining and being crazy on the internet, I was going to say doesn't mean they're right. It never means they're right. Okay? Like, these crazy people, you know when they're crazy. And the honest truth is that you don't have to listen to them ever. I promise you. And so a question for us was, well, do we have to listen to these crazy people? Because we're about to do this thing that they're going to get crazy over, and is this going to backfire on us? And we've been looking at other examples of people doing politics in video games, and a big difference between these examples and my example is this is all like AAA, you know, sort of boxed console stuff, right? massive companies with hundreds of people, so maybe they've got to worry a little bit more about their life. I can stand here and call the internet crazy, and it's probably not going to affect me too much. But obviously, someone from Ubisoft can't stand up here and go, our players are crazy, because it'll be in a million headlines. But over and over again, there's a lot of the AAA studios have started doing this thing where they kind of start to touch politics a little bit, but when someone questions them whether it's actually politics, they go, oh, it's not politics. It's not politics. We just put robots in our game that you know, have very strange coincidental comparisons to social justice issues going on in the world, but it's just robots, guys. This is happening over and over again. Of course, then the situations where AAA studios go, fuck it.
Games about Nazis. Unless you're a Nazi, there should be nobody who is opposed to the idea of being against Nazis.
Make America Nazi-free again. Okay, are we talking about Trump here?
We're talking about Nazis.
You're kind of poking the hornet's nest.
Maybe a little bit, but the hornet's nest is full of Nazis, so fuck those guys.
So, and the question then is, well, what, so just Bethesda can do it? Clearly you can do this, but, and maybe Bethesda feel like they're untouchable, so I don't know. But the fact of the matter is that they did it, and I would like to say that a lot more people heard about Wolfenstein because of their attitude. So anyway, so we went into it and we were like, screw it, we're just gonna go full pelt with this. So we did our launch trailer for the game last month. I'm not going to show you the whole trailer because I already showed you one trailer. But we just went hard on it again. We showed like people being beaten behind things. We showed people being let into like the London Wall and all kinds of horrible things basically. And so I think the interesting thing from anybody else's perspective at this point is like what came out of that? Did it do anything putting politics in the game? Was the bad just really bad? The bad was pretty bad. It was about as bad as I had expected. So again, we got all the comments from the crazies. This one in the middle, I won't read out the whole thing. I've read this one in a dramatic voice many times to myself. It's absolutely incredible. There's a thread on the Steam forums which literally has nearly 400 replies on it, where all the angry people are all talking about why they're not going to buy the game. I'm just like, so I don't care. The great thing is a few different devs have told me, why don't you just delete threads like that? And something I've realized is, if I keep a thread like that, it's like all of the flies coming towards a light and burning themselves. Like, if I remove this light, they'll all spread to all the other threads. And they'll all start just and they'll say, developers deleting, it's freedom of speech, we're all dicks. So if I just leave this one thread there, they all just go there. And that's fine. I know where they are then. They're in this one place, being crazy. But yeah, an interesting thing to note. So you can see the Steam score at the bottom there. The Steam score, I'd assumed it was going to get hit by crazy people, just as you can see from some of the ones around the side, buying the game, playing 10 minutes of it, writing propaganda, and then refunding the game. Not a ton of people did that. So I think I worked out if I deleted all of the reviews where people had clearly done that, we'd have about an 87% positive rating. 82's fine. I'm pretty happy with 82, all things considered. This is what happens when you let anybody review a game, whether they bought it or not. So this one on the left is the good old game score. And on GOG, you can just review the game. You don't have to buy it. Now, something that happened was that GOG, they saw this happening and they panicked. They were like, oh my God, this is clearly bad. There was just loads of people leaving one reviews going, propaganda. So GOG started deleting the reviews. They had never talked to us about this, but they started doing it. And the exact thing happened that I said would happen. Everyone went mental, like saying, they deleted our reviews. And right now what they've done is they've literally, like, the people who have left nice reviews, they've like pinned them on the store page for the game. And again, we didn't ask for this, but they just did this, which has just made everybody on GOG angry. So I've just walked away from that fire, and I've just focused on Steam. But yeah, the crazies were crazy. I assume they were going to be. Fortunately, the lasting sort of damage on it was not too bad, because ended up, my biggest concern was ending up with a bad Steam review, because that can kill your game. We ended up with a decent Steam review, like sort of final user review score, so could have been worse. And honestly, the good that came out of it was far greater than worrying about the crazies. So we'd hoped this was going to happen, but we got so much mainstream. I have never, I don't want to use the word never, but I don't think I've ever got mainstream coverage from a game I've launched. I've launched loads of games, and literally everywhere was covering this game. I mean, weirdly, not places like the Daily Mail. I was hoping we'd get a Daily Mail. But no, a lot of places we got, especially a lot of European press, massive, like, just French newspapers, German newspapers. They love this. That's me on the BBC looking like a lemon. So it was, this whole thing was amazing, and because this was all happening, then it just automatically started leading to more of this, you know, more people, because there's the rule, right, the more times you see a thing. I mean, it's all happened to us, is it? And if I see a game enough times on Twitter, I go, well, goddamn, I'm going to goddamn buy that then, and I'm going to show you all what my opinion is. So because of that, we just started getting covered everywhere. I mean, Jacksepticeye's playing through the game. An interesting one, this is kind of a side note, but an interesting one, when normally I get big YouTubers playing my games, I don't really see that big spike. There might be a little spike or whatever, but nothing crazy. With Not Tonight, whenever he puts a video out of a game, we get a massive spike of sales. I think it's because of the kind of game it is, because it's sort of a management-y style game. People see it and they go, I can play that better. And so then they go and buy it to prove to themselves they can. Whereas like when he played Descenders, we didn't really see a big bump. I guess because people watch him riding a bike and go, oh, that was fun, and then they move on. So anyway, that was a bit of a side note, but it's definitely made me think a little bit more about the kind of games that I'm trying to get through to YouTubers. And yeah, in the end, the game's done pretty nicely for us. I had like a figure in my head. I always try to estimate how well a game's going to sell. With Descenders, I somehow managed to estimate it like to the 100 units. Because I'm some kind of god. With this game, I was so off. We did about 4 times better than we were hoping to do. The sales we were hoping for would have already carried the game on and let us sort of, you know, take it onto console and all that. But it's just done so much better, and especially the long tail on the sales. So normally you launch a game and it goes boo, and then it goes brr, and then you get no sales for forever. For like this whole launch month, it's just been up and down, then like, oh, back up again, and down, oh, back up again. It's been quite pleasant. I think like in the second weekend after the game came out, we got our maximum concurrent players. Normally you get that at launch, right? And then it kind of trails off, but it was like our second weekend or something. More people were playing it than at launch. So that's been kind of nice, and it has meant that we can just kind of go on now. And work on all sorts of really dumb stuff. Dumb stuff that we'd said, it'd be funny if we did that, but we probably won't have the resources. And now we're literally adding multiplayer to the game. Imagine Tetris multiplayer, where you know, get in the same blocks, and then if you do good lines, then you can dump crap on them. Now imagine dumping idiots into their lines, and you both just doing lines at the same time. It's going to be really stupid, but that's every single thing I ever do. So this is like a too long didn't read, because I always like doing these in case you missed something. I mean, the main thing to point out here, I'm maybe being a bit flippant about how I deal with idiots online, because like I said at the start, I have very thick skin at this point. Like anyone could say anything to me, and I can brush it off pretty easily, and then go cry in my bed later. But I know a lot of people aren't. I know a lot of people don't want to deal with this and don't. I know so many devs who like will put a thing out and then will just be like, I didn't look at a single comment because it scared me and I don't want to hear what anybody has to say about my thing. Obviously, if you're that kind of person, this whole thing might have a different perspective for you. For me, I'm still dealing with some. I get tweets every now and again. I got a couple this morning, just literally about doing this talk when I tweeted about it. So it definitely stirs people up, but in the end, we have definitely found that dealing with a Brexit game has ended up with us being pretty happy. At least something good came out of Brexit. That's all we could say. Right. Thank you very much, everybody. That's it. I'm done. Cheers. Whew. I don't know if anybody has any questions. It's a weird one. Normally I'd do like a sales talk or something, and people can be like, but what about this? So I don't really know if there's any questions. Oh yeah, go for it. Hi.
When you have this kind of quite united group against something, is there not any temptation to deliberately try and court them with a game? They're an audience that see themselves as pushed outside, or don't have.
Like so like try and court the idiots, basically. Yeah. I have heard about people doing that. And actually, I think years ago I would have tried to do that. But now I'm an old, hateful man. So at this point, I'd rather they weren't playing my game, to be honest. Like, we get, I guess this is kind of along the same lines. On all our Discords and forums and stuff like that, we have pretty strict policies about the things that people can and can't say. And when people like call other people gay, or they call someone retarded or something like that, it's for me it's just an immediate ban. Like, I just get rid of these people, because quite frankly I don't want that kind of chat. And then if people, then we all the time have people leaving bad reviews on our games saying the game's good, but I said the word gay on one of their forums and they banned me, stupid devs. And I'll just reply to them saying, good riddance. I'm glad that you're gone, to be honest. Because I have no interest. I guess part of it is that if I try and court these people, in a weird way, I'm saying that how they're being is okay. And it's clearly not. They're clearly dickheads. So that's it. I ain't got time for dickheads. Anything else? It's fine if not. All right, cool. Cheers again. Thank you.